Hello, writers. Today, we're going to be talking about shifting from evidence collection to drafting. We're going to be using the evidence from the text and our own thinking to prove our thesis statement is correct. So, writers of literary essays put each of their support sections into a separate paragraph. They use topic sentences to tell the reader what the paragraph will be about. And then they use evidence from the story and their own explanations to prove that their thesis is correct. And I'm going to be modeling all of this for you. So, because there's a couple different things we need to do. So, let's model what this is going to look like. But let's start by reviewing our anchor chart here. So, here's the steps to what you're going to be doing when you're drafting. You're going to be drafting the body paragraphs first, saving the introduction and the conclusion for later. Each support page in your graphic organizer will become its own body paragraph. Each paragraph starts with a topic sentence that tells the reader what the paragraph will be about. And lastly, each piece of evidence taken from the text must have an explanation from you about how it relates to the topic sentence and the thesis. So this is a lesson you're going to probably need to watch more than once. Let me go over the anchor chart again. First, you need to know you're going to draft the body paragraphs first. We're saving the introduction and the conclusion for later. Each support page in your graphic organizer, so you each have a different support page, each of those pages is becoming its own paragraph in the body of your essay. Each paragraph you write has to start with a topic sentence that tells the reader what the paragraph will be about. And lastly, each piece of evidence that you take from your text must have an explanation from you about how it relates to the thesis and the supporting paragraph as a whole, to the topic sentence. So we're going to be looking at a graphic organizer based on the Flyaway Home story that we know about Andrew and his dad living in the airport. And then we're going to be looking at the essay, an exemplar essay that we've all seen. Okay, so here is our supporting paragraph. This is support one. So my thesis is the story Flyaway Home teaches not to give up even when life seems really hard. And my first support is through the young boy Andrew. Okay, so all of my evidence that comes directly from the text has to deal with Andrew and his not giving up even when life seems really hard. And you'll see, even though I had 6 bullets, I only have 6 bullets available. I only have 4 pieces of evidence here. You might have 3, you might have 4, you might have 5. So here are my evidence. Here's my evidence. And my evidence comes directly from the text, either with exact words or character responses to situations, what the character does. So my first piece of evidence is Andrew doesn't sit around. He tries to make a better life for people he cares about. My second piece of evidence is he makes money bringing carts back into the airport for 50 cents each. He tells dad, I'm saving money too. So here I'm telling in the second bullet what he's doing, the action, but I also have dialogue. He tells his dad, I'm saving money too. Andrew talks about getting a home one day with his friend Denny, and Andrew and his friend Denny, who is also homeless, promise each other that whoever gets a new home first, they will let the other boy's family move in too, and they even shake on it. So this whole page, okay, this whole page becomes a paragraph. And this support here, this is going to become part of my topic sentence. So let me show you what the end product for this paragraph would look like. So here's the essay, and I'm going to scroll down to the paragraph. So here is the paragraph. Let me move this out of the way. Here we go. Here's the paragraph. We're not looking at the introduction. So this is the paragraph here that we're talking about. And as I read it out loud, let's look for where the evidence is from my graphic organizer. And then let's look for my explanation about that evidence and how it relates to the topic sentence and the thesis. One way the author teaches that a person should never give up and keep trying is through the young boy Andrew. So this first sentence right here, this is my topic sentence. Okay, through the young boy Andrew. One way the author teaches that a person should never give up and should keep trying is through the young boy Andrew. If we go back to my graphic organizer, you'll see my support was through the young boy Andrew. Okay, now we go on. In the story, Andrew doesn't sit around waiting for a better life. He makes money bringing carts back into the airport for 50 cents each. So watch this. So this piece here, okay, where he makes money bringing carts back into the airport for 50 cents each, that is from my evidence. You'll see that is one of my bullets. Okay, here's the Andrew doesn't sit around. He tries to make a better life for the people he cares about. He makes money bringing carts back into the airport for 50 cents each. And then he also says, here's this, Andrew says, I'm saving too. So these parts are my evidence, even this one. Andrew doesn't sit around waiting for a better life. These that I've underlined in this purplish blue, lavender really, are the pieces of evidence that are here. Okay, so let's keep going and finding the rest of the evidence. Okay, this shows Andrew's not giving up, even though his life is hard. All right, so let me change color so we can see this now. So this piece here, this shows Andrew is not giving up, even though his life is hard. This relates to the topic sentence. A person should never give up and should keep trying. And it also relates to my thesis, which, it teaches us not to give up, even when life seems really hard. Okay. So we're using all of the evidence is in blue. Okay. And my explanation of it is in green. Okay. So now let's go back to the blue. It might be a little different. I apologize. Andrew talks about getting a home one day with his friend Denny. And in the text, Andrew and his friend Denny, who is also homeless, promise each other that whoever gets a new home first, they will let the other boy's family moves in too. They even shake on it. All of this is real evidence that was in my graphic organizer. See, Andrew talks about getting a home one day with his friend Denny. Andrew and his friend Denny, who is also homeless, promise each other that whoever gets a new home first, they'll let the other boy's family move in too. They even shake on it. If I wrote this well, I can just copy and paste it. Okay. But I'm taking this evidence and I'm putting it into the paragraph. And after every single piece of evidence, I need to have an explanation of how it applies to my topic sentence. So after this last piece of evidence that I underlined in this purple, here's my proof. Here's my explanation. This shows that the boys are hopeful about one day of having a home for their own. They're not giving up, even though both families live at the airport. So what you can see here is that I have the evidence. I have my topic sentence that's highlighted in red. I have the evidence that comes from my graphic organizer, that's in this bluish purple. And then my words, my explanation of how it relates to the topic sentence and the thesis, that's in green, okay? And then, so once I have this into a paragraph, then I would go on to my next paragraph in my draft where I'm writing through Andrew's dad, about Andrew's dad. So each of these lines are my evidence. They're going to go into my paragraph. And after every single piece of evidence, I'm going to have an explanation. So, for example, here is an so when I talk about, here, let me change the color again, sorry. So here, for example, his dad makes them wear plain blue clothes so they blend in with all the people. He also has them change terminals where they stay each day so they don't get noticed that much. In the text, it said, not to be noticed is to look like nobody at all. This is all evidence. actions and words directly from the text. Now I'm going to explain it. This shows that his dad is not giving up. He's paying attention and figuring out ways to keep them safe with a warm place to stay each day. And then I move into more evidence according to the text. And then I have more explanation. It's like a pattern: evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation. So, what you need to do, and when you're done, I'm going to encourage you just to pause this video so that you can refer back to this slide. This is your anchor chart. You're going to draft the body paragraphs first, saving the introduction and conclusion for later. Each support page in your graphic organizer becomes its own body paragraph. Each paragraph starts with a topic sentence that tells the reader what the excuse me, what the paragraph will be about. And each piece of evidence taken from the text must have an explanation from you about how it relates to the topic sentence in the thesis. So you start with the topic sentence that comes from your support. Then you go evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation. All right. Keep this video, pause the video now, and that way you'll be able to refer back to this anchor chart. All right, boys and girls, good luck.